Alright, welcome to the very first video in the Unreal Engine 5 tutorial series. Super excited to bring this to you. Unreal Engine 5 is the game engine that brought to you guys Valorant and Fortnite and a whole bunch of other high-level games, and is considered to be one of the best, if not the best, game development engines in the world right now. Primarily due to the fact that it can render ridiculous meshes and ridiculous textures to a very high precision using nanites, which we'll talk about a lot later. Don't have to get into that now, but I just wanted to say that's what makes Unreal Engine 5 so amazing. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump right into the course. To download Unreal Engine 5, you need to download the Epic Games Launcher. So this is the Epic Games Launcher widget right here on my desktop. To get this, all you need to do is you need to go to the internet. You need to type in download Epic Games Launcher, if I can spell. Oh, I can't spell it all. That's okay. But then it's right here. You would just click on this, and then there will be a download prompt that pops up right there. You would click download, and then you would also create an account here as well. So here's where you can create an account by clicking sign up. And then to download the Epic Games Launcher, you'll just click download. And as you see, it's already trying to download this. I'm going to go ahead and cancel because I already have it. So once you have that downloaded and you have an account made, you're going to double click on this. It's going to now ask you to sign in. When you're all signed in, you're going to see a window probably like this pop up. In a second here, it's probably going to pop you up to the store as you see it's loading. When that happens, you're just going to come here. Here we go. So you'll probably get something like this. If you want to download Unreal Engine 5, you're just going to come here to Unreal. You're going to click on this. This screen that was just up was going to come up, and then you're going to click launch right here. And this will, this may not be launch, this may be download. So you're going to go ahead and download it here. And it will download, and then when it's all done downloading, that'll be it. And you'll have it, and then you'll just click launch, and it will allow you to launch Unreal Engine 5. And here it is launching on this computer. So pretty cool. All right, so then I'm going to go ahead and create a third person template. You can name your template whatever you want, but for right now we're going to use Blueprint and we're not going to use C++. We'll talk about that later. For right now, make sure you have starter content checked. And yeah, so that's how you create your very first game. I'm going to go ahead and load into my tutorial world here. And there you go. Here is the third person template, as you can see. So let's go ahead and discuss how to move around in Unreal Engine 5. So to begin with, to look around in Unreal Engine 5, like so, what you're going to do is you're going to right click on the mouse right here, and you're just going to move the mouse around. This allows you to look around and inspect your world, just like so. Then to start moving around, or to move the camera instead of looking around, you're going to use the W, S, A, and D key to move around. You're also going to move the E key to go up and the Q key to go down. Now, let's say you want to move really, really fast. Let's say you're over here and you want to go check out something over there. If you scroll while holding right click on the mouse wheel, it's going to it's going to make your camera way faster. So if I need to go over here really fast, I can. And then let's say you want to examine something really slow, like this corner, for example. You can't, it's really hard to do it with your camera fast. So to slow down your camera, you're going to scroll your mouse wheel the other direction. And this will go ahead and slow down. Oops, excuse me. There we go. You scroll it more for y'all to see. And as you can see, this slows down your camera immensely. And you can scroll in and scroll back on the mouse wheel here while holding right click to slow down and speed up the camera to help you out in certain cases. Okay, so that's kind of a little bit of the basic move around tutorial. You can also pan in and out by scrolling back and in on the mouse wheel without holding right click. So if I have nothing held and I'm just scrolling the wheel here, it's going to move in and out just like so. And then when I want to change camera speed, I hold right click and then that's going to change the speed of the camera. You can also come up here and change this camera speed as well if you want a better default camera speed and a different scaler. Okay, So there you go. There's just the small little basics of moving around in Unreal. Let's go ahead and talk about how to move things around and what is going on the screen. So right here is considered to be the viewport. This is a view into your scene, and you'll have various many scenes in games generally. We'll talk a lot about that later, but this is essentially everything that exists inside of your level is inside of this giant thing here, which is called the viewport. So to move things around in the viewport, you're going to have the select, the move, the rotate, and the scale tools all right here, which allow you to move things around, select things, rotate them, and change their size. Let's go ahead and look. I'm going to use the select tool here by clicking on it. These are also key binded with Q, W, E, and R, and the spacebar as well will go between the various tools there. So I'm going to go ahead and click on this, and as you can see, the move tool simply allows you to drag this asset around, just like so. Pretty straightforward. The rotate tool obviously allows you to change the object's orientation in space, which is the way it's pointing or its angle on all three sides. And then the scale tool will change the part's size. Notice it scales in both directions, as you can see. And then if you wanted to scale evenly on all three axes at the same time, you would just click this white square in the center and it will go ahead and scale all three at the same time. So that's the bare bones basic right there. Right here is going to give you snapping. So snapping, I'll go ahead and show you, is when things can only move based on this constraint. So for example, this can only move 500 centimeters at a time. So when I go ahead and move it around, as you can see, it only moves 500 centimeters at once. It can't move anything in between, and if you want it flowy, then you'll just uncheck this, and as you see, it moves just fine. And of course, you can change this to whatever unit you want. Maybe you want it at centimeters, which is pretty much the same as no snapping. Just a hair of snapping, and you can change this to be whatever. Same thing here with the rotation. You can snap the rotation tool to whatever you want. Right now it's snapped to 10, and then the scale tool as well is also set to 0.25, so it'll only go every 2.25 centimeters. And that's the basics of just moving stuff around and changing the size of things. All right, cool. Let's go ahead and talk about these two very important panels right over here. So I'm going to go ahead and exit them out and show you how to open them just in case your scene looks like this. To open them up, you're going to come here to the windows. You're going to go over down here to the outliner tab, which should be right here. You're going to go ahead and open this and click on it, and this is where the outliner tab is. And then if you need the details panel, you'll come here and you'll check the details panel and it'll pop up here. If it's somewhere out here in space, you can just drag it and snap it in, and it should snap in. Come on. We'll snap it in there for now. Should be a way to, there we go. Snap it in like that. And let's go ahead and talk about these two panels. So the first panel over here, the outliner tab, essentially is everything that exists inside of your level. So everything that you see here, for example, this is somewhere inside of your outliner tab, and it describes everything in your game. So if you ever needed to figure out, I don't know, wanted to alter block 1 and you couldn't find it for whatever reason, you could come over here and you could see here's all the components for block 1. To select things, you click on them. To select multiple things, you click on them and hold Control. And then to select a whole group of items, you click on something, hold Shift, click at the bottom, excuse me, Shift, there we go. And as you can see, I selected all of that right there. Cool. To select multiple things, you can also hold Control, Shift, and Alt, and it will allow you to select things like that with the box selector. And yeah, so that's the outliner tab. It's very similar to the workspace in Roblox Studio if you're from there. Now, the next thing is right down here, which is your details panel. This makes up all the various components that define every actor in your scene. Later, we'll talk about what those words really mean, but for right now, think of these as the various things that make up this cube. right? So your cube has a position, which is described by the transform. It has its static mesh, which is the cube. It has its material, which defines its color and reflection and a whole bunch of other things. How physics work with it is right here. Collisions, how the lighting works with it, how it's rendered. All of the components are right here. And if you wanted to change any of the various components, you can change them right here. So that's what these two panels are. Probably the most two important panels in all of Unreal Engine 5. You'll 100% be using this panel over here a lot. And you can also break them up into what they do right here. Cool, cool. And then the last thing for this tutorial is we're going to see a little bit of how to make your own little small shapes. To make your own small shapes, you're just going to click on this, go to shapes, and you can actually import your own stuff, just like so, and move that item around. Then, when you're all good and you like where something is, I'm going to go ahead and show you, for example, what you can do here as well by changing up some of the components. Here I put simulate physics on and took enable gravity off. So this will simulate physics, meaning it's affected by forces, just not the force of gravity. So that's what you can do with the details panel. You can change the actor that you have selected using it. And let's go ahead and see how to play our game. So whenever you play your game in the third person the third person template here, you're going to start on this player start, which is right here. So let's go ahead and click play. And just like so, you can move around the map and use WSA and D as if you were playing a game. Now let's go ahead and see what the altering of this component or this actor did when I turned off enable gravity but kept simulate physics on. I can still apply forces to it and it's almost like it's in space, as you can see, because there is no force of gravity. Versus these, they have simulate physics and the force of gravity on, so I can kick them around, yes, but as you can see, they don't go floating in the sky like that. So yeah, this is just the bare bones basics. To escape out of this, you're going to click the escape key. You can also click Windows if you have to. So like, let's say I click into this, you click Windows and click the stop, you can do that as well. But I prefer the escape key. And that is pretty much the bare bones basics behind Unreal Engine 5. I hope this video helped anybody who's just trying to get the basic idea of how to use Unreal down. And don't worry, we will dive into some more advanced topics in the next video. I hope you all enjoyed this one, and I'll see you in the next one.